Qantas flight QF64 from Johannesburg, arriving in Sydney. We're heading north to intercept runway 16 right. It's a fresh southerly afternoon, overcast, nothing to see out of the windows. So what do the passengers do? They click over to the air show, and there they can see their aircraft. It's a Qantas 747 in full livery, and we can see it here at 6,700 feet on descent. Currently coming over Parramatta towards Borkham Hills, heading north, preparing to turn right to intercept the runway. We can look around the aircraft, see where we are. Prospect Reservoir, Borkham Hills ahead of us, and there's the coastline, Sydney Harbour over to our right. We'll swing up here a little further before turning right. Our altitude now, we've just come through 5,000 feet. Still doing 250 odd knots. Minor adjustments in track, so the aircraft is just banking left and right. Okay, we're now starting to turn right onto a long base leg for 16 right. Over in the bottom left hand side you can see a thumbnail picture of where the aircraft is. So we're coming in over the northwestern suburbs. There's Hornsby ahead of us, Wahroonga, continuing on a gentle bank to the right. Pennant Hills off to our right there. And we're down to approaching 4,000 feet. Off to our right is Macquarie Park, top ends of the harbour. Northern Beaches ahead of us. Approaching the Pacific Highway, turn south now, come down the Laneco River to line up with the runway. City of Sydney displayed in front of us. There's Botany Bay over to slightly to the right, with the runway over on the right. Coming over Macquarie Park, heading towards the city. We're down to 3,600 feet as we make further adjustments to line up with the runway. Lane Cove coming into sight ahead of us. North Ride under our right wing. We can have a look around the aircraft, see where we are, remind ourselves of the familiar suburbs. Still haven't lined up with the runway, which is over here, slightly off to our right. Get over Hunters Hill, sorry, over Lane Cove, and start turning right to line up with the runway. There's the runway coming into sight. Pretty much lined up there, coming over Hunters Hill, Wanko River, Tremoyne, Rozelle, Leichhardt in front of us. Beautifully lined up here for 16 right. We're down to 2,300 feet. Descending, our speed is back to 160 knots. Probably got the undercarriage down, got flaps down. feet. Speed back to 150 odd knots. Remaining lined up with the runway. You can still be looking around. See the city dropping under our left wing. Inner western suburbs off here to the right. Change our vertical view so we can actually see coming in. We can of course come right back, or we can zoom right in. Okay, down to 1,000 feet. Airspeed steady at about 150 knots. Lined up for the runway. And we're 7 minutes into this video. So I think that pretty much shows you the experience that customers could be having arriving back in Sydney after a long flight, seeing the familiar town, the countryside. For those who haven't been to Sydney before, they've immediately start to get a glimpse of our beautiful city. And we can follow the aircraft right in, down to 400 feet. Coming in over the threshold. Airspeed steady at 150 knots.